I can't show no love to you, shout it, cause I'm all out. They don't wanna see you win the game until you ball out. Why? They ain't never got no work, it's like they called out. Then they wanna switch the story on you, when they
Alright, I legit been playing these songs for like the past 2-3 weeks, so I'm not even gonna start with it because I feel everyone's on London Ho Radio already heard it. If we have enough time after this conversation, I'll play the clean songs I got of you again. But everyone, Pyro Malik in the building. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
Did you have a gym session already? Did you have your coffee? Did you eat breakfast? It's
Um,
5 p.m.
I did
here, but
I
we
did
are
have a
waking
gym
you.
session. I didn't eat breakfast yet though, although I should have probably ate.
Yeah, you're gonna be grumpy, hangry in this
I'm starving.
interview.
I'm starving right now, but I have some stuff to do with you, so I was like, I eat later.
Yeah, we'll reschedule. You go
So
grab
yeah,
a yogurt.
a
Um,
yogurt, a parfait or something.
yeah. No, so tell us where you are in the world, because I feel I'm just waking you guys up.
Yeah. I'm in North Atlanta, Georgia, in the U.S.
It's 12 a.m. there, isn't it, right now?
12 p.m.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, that's. I did the flyer yesterday. I know I wrote it down correctly there. So let us know what did you do today? What did you do this week? What you been up to?
Um, I just been well, this week I've been in the studio writing and recording and producing all week. I had some sessions here and there. Today though, it's still kind of early, so I just had my gym session this morning. I just came back, did a little work on the computer. Now I'm here with you.
All right. So Pyro Malik, where did that name came from? Is that your name? Is that your government name? Malik
Nah,
so
nah,
hot.
nah, nah, nah,
Did
nah,
your mom
nah.
call you Pyro?
You know what? My mom doesn't call me Pyro. Doesn't. Nah, she doesn't. The name Pyro Malik came from. Well, Malik is my real name. Is my real middle name, and the name Pyro came from when I was a little while ago when I was trying to come up with my artist name. I had wrote in the verse one time, and you can call me Pyro the Fire Starter. And ever since then, I just stuck with it, the name Pyro, and then I put the Malik with it, and it just made it unique and original.
Mm-hmm. So before you wrote that verse, who were you as an artist?
I don't even remember. I don't think I really had a name. I don't think I actually had a real name.
Unmastered.
Yeah. I was just
Title one.
some alias or some regular guy. I didn't have a real rap name at the time.
Right. All right. So let us know. You grew up in Atlanta, right? Like, were you moving
Yeah.
around at all?
Nah, I'm born and raised in Atlanta. Born and raised. This is the only city I ever lived in my whole life. I traveled a lot, but I've never lived anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'm a real AT alien, for real, for real.
So could you describe how was growing up in Atlanta? How was your childhood like? How was your upbringing?
Um, it's funny because the city has changed so much over my lifetime. Like in the beginning part of my life, it was a little slower. Um, but like after the Olympics, things started picking up. So in '96, Atlanta hosted the Olympics, and after the Olympics, it's like the city and the economy just took off so much, and it was so welcoming that the city started changing so much. So growing up, it was kind of like I would say I had a normal childhood. Nothing extravagant, nothing horrible. Just your typical child growing up in the city. And and as time grew, the city just started growing as well, and I think that helped a lot me getting more involved in music because it was around me growing up, but once the city started progressing so much, it was like really in my face. So it was so encouraging to want to keep doing it because I already wanted to do it originally. But when the city started prospering, I'm like, man, I couldn't be in a better location. And that's
Mm.
kind of how it took off. So I'm here now, right now, still.
Still here. Do you remember when did you actually realize that you like music? Like, were your family like playing music at home, or do you remember that first
you know,
time?
um, all my life I always loved it. My granddad used to always tell me this story about when I was like 2, 3 years old. He said that I used to sneak out of my crib, and he said he used to catch me like 3 in the morning. And I'd be downstairs watching music videos, not cartoons, not that. He
At
said
2 years old.
at like 3 years old. Yeah, I was really young. He used to always say like, man, he used to always say it was so mind boggling, like that I liked music videos. But at that time, no one knew that I was going to end up doing anything with music. But those are my earliest memories. So all my life, I kind of just, I can't even tell you what start. I'm going to say since birth because I really just have been loving it ever since I can really remember.
What did you like about the music videos? What was so interesting?
You know,
Is there
at
any
3 years old,
particular artist, any particular platform where you were watching those? Like, what was?
honestly, at 3 years old, I don't remember at 3 years old.
How did
I
you
don't
even
even
like
know.
figure out how to turn it on? Like,
I asked him that, and he used to say maybe sometimes it was just left on that channel or whatever. I was just turning on the TV, and that's probably how it started. Like maybe someone just left it on the channel, and when I turned the TV on, it probably just caught my attention. Um,
hmm
but I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how I was able to work the remote and know what channel it was, but
no, we're asking you to like remember everything you did at
yeah,
2 years old. No, like
yeah, 2 years old, right?
my earliest memory is probably like 7 or something. So I have no idea what happened before.
Yeah,
Might as well have been kidnapped by aliens. Wouldn't know. But do you have
right.
any siblings?
Yeah, I got two brothers and one sister.
And you are middle, older?
I'm the oldest sibling.
Alright, no, that doesn't. It means your parents left the music out. I was wondering who left that music channel on. It means your parents must have
Yeah,
done it.
yeah. We're growing up. We kind of stayed with family.
Mhm.
Like I always had family, so it honestly could have been anyone at the time. I was my mom's first child, but I wasn't necessarily the oldest kid. I
Mhm.
had cousins that lived with me, or had aunts and uncles. So it could have been anybody at that time. Honestly, I don't. I
Mhm.
would have to ask my granddad. I don't think that's a good question. I should talk to him about that.
Where's anyone making music? Like, where are any musicians in your family?
What's crazy is that no, I'm the first one. My granddad used to sing around the house, but nothing professional. He just wake
Mhm.
up like your typical grandparents would just like singing, or like when he was cooking, he used to always sing when he was cooking, and um, but that was it. Like I didn't have any professional musicians or anyone that was really chasing that career path. I never had that. It was just something that I wanted to do, and it's funny because I used to always talk about it like, man, like I wish I just had that one cousin who was already in the industry. It's like, nah, I had to really lay the the groundwork and the footprints to make it happen for myself because I didn't have any connections at all, like literally nothing. So I
Mhm.
had to start from the ground up, really from scratch.
So how did you start making your own sound, making your own music? Was it
Um,
always rap? Were you writing
yeah.
poems?
Nah, nah. Um, it was always rap. Most of it was trial and error though. Like my earliest that I remember like wanting to write and wanting to rap, I probably was about 8 or 9. And I remember listening to music, and I used to write whoever my favorite rapper was at the time. I used to write the songs down, and that's kind of how I learned how to format the song structure. Like okay, well this is a Fabulous or a Jada Kiss song or a Ti song. And I used to write all their lyrics, and then eventually I started switching their lyrics out for my lyrics, but I still had the same structure. So that's how I kind of learned how to write songs. And then after a while, I just grew older, and my vocabulary grew, my creativity level grew, and I just continued writing and just coming up and trial and error until I found something that felt good to me.
Yeah, right. We didn't have internet that time, right? So you had to like
Not
write
really.
down what you heard, like pause every word or so, and just
I do
transcript.
remember. I remember recording like the radio with the tape, and you had to
Mhm.
push the two buttons.
Yeah.
And I, I used to record. I used to record music videos with the VHS, like all of that stuff. Like from a kid, I remember doing all of that. I used to always want to record all the videos. I used to want to record like the whole mix show on the radio. So I did have. I was always interested for sure.
Did you get all the lyrics correctly? Like,
probably not at 9 or 10 years old. I probably was definitely writing some wrong stuff. I probably didn't understand what half of it meant either.
Right. So you mentioned Jada Kiss, Ty. Was there any other rappers like you grew up listening to, or you remember that kind of?
Yeah, I used to love Outkast growing up. Jada Kiss, Jay Z. I used to love Biggie. Um, I used to love UGK. Uh, when Rick Ross came out, I used to love Rick Ross when he came out. Um, it was I had a different variety because I used to just like all kind of music.
Mhm.
From all over. Like I used to just love it. Like no matter what region it's from, I can always find something that I liked about some particular region. I can pick out any song, as long as it was music and I felt like it was a good quality of music. I can always find something that I could take from it and appreciate.
Mhm. So what was your first ever song about? Do you remember?
I don't remember my first song, but I do remember my first verse that I ever wrote. I still remember it, and I probably had to be like
Tell us.
13. Uh, what was my
I
I
mean,
think it was.
not necessarily the whole words, but
Let me
what
see.
was it?
I'll tell you the first part. I think it was I'm too hot to handle. I'm too cold to touch, but I keep girls hopping on just like double dutch. Something like that. There was more to it.
How
I had to
old
think of
were
it.
you?
Oh man, I had to be an early teenager, like 13, 14 years old. I couldn't have been older than that. And I just remember, what did I say? I remember because part of it I talked about. Do you remember the rims that I used to keep spinning, the
Mhm.
spinners? Yeah, I remember talking about that. I was like 13. I didn't even have a license. And I remember rapping about my rims never stop spinning.
Wow. And when was your like first time you ever put it out, or like how did you tell people that you made a song, that you are wanting, like, do you wanna make songs and stuff?
you know, I I don't think that ever became an actual song. I think I just was writing a lot of like verses, and I was just learning the verses, but I didn't actually record it like as a song.
Mhm.
Um, I think the first time I recorded a song, I probably was like 17,
Mhm.
and I have no idea what song it was. It wasn't any good for sure. It wasn't any good. I'm sure that it wasn't good.
So did anyone give you any feedback on that? Like, how did you keep on making? Like, how did you continue making others, or you just?
I had one of my friends. We used to kind of like when we graduated high school. He went to college and he used to come back home like over the weekends or over the summer, and we used to just go to different try to find whatever we could at that time, 18, 17 years old, different studios and people who would let us record. And um it was really me and him, and we just kind of kept going at it. And eventually, I just kept working at it, and I just kept practicing. I kept writing, I kept learning, and I never stopped. I never gave up, and it always made me feel good to create music. And to this day, I still have that same feeling. I still have that same enthusiasm when I'm creating.
Mhm. What about producing and sound engineering? How did that start?
Well, the engineering started because we didn't have any money to go to the studio, so it was either not
Mhm.
go to the studio or figure it out so we could keep working. And just over years of practicing and just working on my craft and just understanding music, I just learned how to become um, a decent engineer. And I started out just engineering my stuff and my buddy stuff that I was talking about. And I was just only doing our stuff. I wasn't even trying to get like an engineering situation. But after a while, I was like, well, how can I turn this into making some money? And I was like, all right, well, I love music. I know I want to do something in music. I'm not making a ton of money rapping right now. I'm not making a ton of money producing. Well, what can I do? And I was like, well, I'll engineer. Like it's something that I can enjoy. I can still be in the studio. I can build the relationships that I still need. I can network how I still need. And it actually worked out pretty well for me. Some of the best relationships I have is through engineering.
Mhm.
Mm.
So what was the reaction of like your friends and family when they saw that you know, since young age, you're like kind of rapping and writing stuff and then making stuff. What were they saying about it?
you know, it was no huge response in the beginning because I don't know how serious they may have thought I was taking it. And when you're a young kid, you're just still working, and I was just still living a normal life. I was just doing it on my own time, so I was spending a lot of time in the studio, and a lot of people probably didn't know, like maybe my closest friends and my closest family, because they were around, but I was really just focusing on working, and we were doing shows and stuff, but a lot of those people I didn't know. Like when we were younger, we were doing a lot of shows and like open mics and those types of things, and um, we kind of as I kept progressing and I kept doing it and stay consistent, then people are like, okay, like, oh, he's serious, he really wants to do this, and then the response and the feedback picked up a little bit, and I got a little more support.
Hmm. You mentioned normal life. What is your normal life? Tell
Uh,
us more about it. That's always interesting to hear.
my what my normal life as a childhood or my normal life now?
In general, you said you always lived like a normal life. I mean,
Yeah, well,
that's why we're.
yeah. Well, I guess what I mean is a normal life or just a more common life. I just I went to college. I worked. There like there was nothing out the ordinary. I guess shall I say? It was nothing out the ordinary that I was doing. It was just a typical young kid who's just living at a young age. I was about 22, 23, 24, whatever, and I was just working like small gigs here and there. And I was just working and I was just hustling, grinding, trying to just do whatever I could to make ends meet. And but I would still always find time to do the music. And I guess so when I say normal life, I guess I more mean I wasn't a successful musician yet. You there to me? Did I lose you? I can't hear you, Timmy. Can you hear me? I think I lost you. Oh God, no, let me see. Did I do something? Oh no. Should I hang up and call back?
1, 2 off. Okay, I think we're
Oh, there you
back.
go. Yeah,
Sorry.
there you go. There you
That's me and my long legs. I think I just wrangled the wires around me.
go.
Thanks, in. All right. Sorry. What was my last question? This is third interview, by the way. I'm doing so mind me. Um, what was my? Oh yeah, normal life. No, the college. I was asking if your college like has subjects and stuff. Do you have to pick like certain topics?
Yeah, well, I went to it's interesting because I just studied business in college because I always figured like, well, whatever I end up doing, whether it's music in some kind of way, I'm going to still need the information and knowledge of how to run a business. But I went to a school where they offered the audio um, programs. So like we had like a small studio at the college, and I used to just go every day. They had where they would teach you how to produce and they would teach you things, but I didn't have the classes. So what I did is I studied business and I just stayed in the studio with the kids that were learning the audio part. So I was kind of just like double dipping without having to pay or take both classes.
Ooh,
And that's kind
nice.
of yeah, and that's kind of how I learned how to make beats. Actually, was in school. It was a girl, and she used to make beats for me. We used to just work every day. Like I would go to my regular classes, and then I would come and meet her in the studio. And every day we used to just work and work and work and work. And eventually, I learned how to make beats. And once I learned how to make beats, I just started doing it on my own. And I just started producing and working and working. And that's how we're here now.
Mm-hmm. So, how did would you say your sound developed like over time since you started making? How did you find like how did you find your sound? Because I think we spoke about this earlier. Like you do have, you know, how to like what producing you like and stuff. Like how did you? One is like how do you describe your sound? Like how would you identify yourself?
You know,
Maybe.
I definitely have an eclectic sound, right? So like, um, I'm American, but I was raised in a Latino household. So my stepdad is Colombian. So I have the influence of like Southern hip hop, but my mom's family is from the North. They're from like New York and that area, mixed with that part, and then mixed with the Latin, so the salsa and stuff. So what I did was I just tried to experiment, and I used to just try to see how I can conjure all those different elements of music into one. And honestly, it took a little while because I had to learn so much because what I was trying to do was pull pieces from like all these different genres of music, and I learned a lot. I definitely felt like I created something original, but it was just really working and working and working and rapping and rapping and rapping until eventually I just started finding something that I liked consistently. And once I found it, I just stuck with it. I just stuck with it, and I made sure, I tried to make sure I got a sound for my voice and just different little small things that I felt like what I like to hear in other artists. Like, man, why do I like this artist? What do I like about this artist? What do I like about this person's music? And then I used to try to pull those pieces and put it into my own music.
Mm-hmm.
That's eventually how I came up with that Pyro Malik sauce.
Could you share a bit of the examples of like who are the artists that you really like and what about their music is it that you like and that you're possibly trying to implement for yourself?
You know, so like I used to always appreciate like Hove, how he used to be able to make the streets so relatable in his music. So like I definitely pulled from that. I used to love the way Jada Kiss rapped it. I used to pull from that. I used to love the instrumentation of the production of like salsa music and the instruments or like soft rock. And I used to listen to R&B and like, man, these musicians are so good. I used to pull pieces from that, and I used to just try to create my own feelings with that. So I used to just pull small pieces of what made me feel good and try to make it into one piece.
Mm-hmm. How would you say your sound is unique? I mean, how do you think you are different? What you notice in, like, let's say the music that's coming out now or regular
Well,
American hip hop?
yeah, well, like I think the lyrical content, you know, I definitely have content and context. Um, I think I think definitely what makes me different is the fact that I have so many layers to me as a musician and as an artist. The fact that I can speak Spanish, the fact that I can rap, the fact that I can play instruments, the fact that I can produce my own sound. That's not common in the average rapper. I can perform. All these pieces together is what makes me unique. This is not the average thing that you see in a regular rapper. Like rapping, the actual physical part of rapping is probably the easiest thing that I can do. I added so many layers over time, just grinding and beating on my craft to just become better at it and understanding music. That's what separates me. Really understanding feelings of music and what makes people feel good, and like those aren't common things that the average musician even cares about. But the
Mm-hmm.
ones who do care, that's what elevates them to the next level.
Right, nice one. And so, what is your songs about? What are your occurring themes? Is it the same? Is each song different? How would you say your
Yeah, well,
songs?
yeah, well, like I try to touch on, whatever I'm feeling, and sometimes even at that moment I might be feeling something, but it can be pulled from an emotion that might have happened years ago, or sometimes I write about other people's experiences. Sometimes I have conversations with people and they tell me these things, and it's like, man, how would I be able to deliver that to the world? Like, how can I tell that same story? Like, if this one person is feeling this way, there can be millions of people that have that same situation, but they can't get it or connect the pieces to the world to know that there are other people who feel like that. And I think I try to creatively when I'm writing, like, what's going to stick with somebody? When someone hears this lyric, what's going to make them be like, oh, I feel like that sometimes. And I think that's what does it for me. Like, whenever people respond to me and they go, man, I heard this song and I, I be feeling like that a lot, or, I've been through that, or, those, I think being relative, making something that's unique, but also relative that people can feel and is genuine.
Give us an example of those feelings. What do you usually feel like, or?
So, so like, I got a song called Mama's Couch, and the song, I remember writing it like, man, like one day I'm gonna look back to where I was starting at on my mama's couch,
Mhm.
and that whole song is just about being dedicated and grinding and to keep pushing. But it all started right there, like it was just a humble beginning on my mama's couch. And there's so many people that can probably relate to that, and that's outside of music, right? Like anybody who's doing anything, they had to have a starting point, and mine was, in my mom's house. I remember being a young kid writing on my mama's couch, like literally, like, and I remember writing rhymes like, one day I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be big, and I'm going to remember it all started right here on my mama's couch. So that's just one small example of something that I try to do with the music.
Mhm. So what you say, would you call it just a daily experiences, like regular, like a relatable for everyone? Like, what is your target audience? What do
Yeah,
you write music to? Like, who
you
who
know,
do
you know,
you?
um, it's not. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't want to say daily because these things happen. I guess technically it's daily, because it's over time and different days and different experiences. But my target audience is for real music listeners, people that appreciate content, appreciate people that appreciate creativity in music, people that appreciate relative, conversation over beats, and that's what I
Mhm.
do, and
Do
that's
you?
what I do.
Yeah, sorry for being very straightforward, me, but well, hello. um, do you think people still care about that? Like, do you think that's what works today? Do people still actually care
Yeah,
about the lyric and content? And
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
mhm,
Um, it's a difference between something being hot and something being good. Like you can
mhm,
have something hot and it's just temporary. When something is good, it's timeless. Like there's no time limit on how good something can be, or there's no time limit of how long it will last when it's actually good in its quality. So I think a lot of times in music, easy come, easy go, right? So like you make a quick song, you make a catchy chorus, and it may catch faster, but it also burns out faster. So I think that people do appreciate good music. It's just maybe not in the younger audiences, but it's okay. Like even eventually, the younger audiences grow up. you know,
mhm,
so sometimes you're always gonna have laggers, right? You're gonna have innovators, and you're gonna have laggers. But me being an innovator, I can't focus on the laggers. It's their job to catch up. It's my job to keep innovating. So
mhm,
that's what I focus on. I focus on the people who do want it. I focus on and it's out there. I'm sure of it.
mhm. So, what would you say is the age group of the people that would understand the content you're putting out?
I don't want to put a number on it, but we can
Mm,
say a mature audience because like I've had 20-year-old, 21-year-old kids come back. Man, I love everything you said, and I've had 50-year-old people come to me. Like I've had like my grandmother's one of my biggest fans. She loves it, you know, and that's a huge age gap numerically, but
mhm,
as far as maturity wise, it's very close. It's people who've been through things. It's people who can relate to building something brick by brick. It's people who have grinded for wherever they want. They can relate, even if it's not necessarily with music. They can relate being dedicated to a craft or to something you're chasing. And that's where Power Malik comes. And I just narrate that story for all the real hustlers. Everybody really grinding. I'm just a narrator for those type of people.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned a hustle a couple of times now. So what motivates you to keep going? Like what keeps up your work ethic? Do you have any maybe tips to share for artists or I mean people in general that are struggling to find the purpose and that motivation to keep moving?
Yeah, I mean, like let's be clear. Like first things first. Like it's everyone has hard days, like including myself. Some days I wake up and I'm like, man, I wish I was just in a $20 million mansion, like
I
But
feel like that too.
it's like that, right? You see what I'm saying, right?
That's
But
relatable, yeah.
yeah, that's relatable, right? That's very relatable. Like a lot of people will want that, but I think what keeps me going is when people hear my music and you know when they say things like what you said, it really meant a lot to me, or like when they say things like, man, that really kept me going. I was having a bad day and I heard that song and I was like, oh man, okay. I think the inspiration of me inspiring people, like that feeling never gets old for me. So anytime anyone is ever inspired by something I said or did in a positive manner, it keeps me going. And I think that once you find your purpose, it's going to be easier even on the hard days, right? So like you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable sometimes, because you got to remember, like, it's not all about you. It's like,
Mhm.
so like any artist that are trying to figure out like, why I keep doing it, I'm not getting so much, was like, if you're a musician and your voice is going to be heard all over the world, your focus should be on inspiring other people and not what you can get, because what you're going to get, your blessings and your karma is going to come from putting out the right energy and inspiring people and trying to help change lives in a positive manner through your music.
Mhm.
And you just got to keep going. You got to keep grinding. Like any success that lasts is built slow and steady, right? So you can't expect to just pop overnight off of one song. A lot of people want to just wake up and be successful, but that's not how it works. And a lot of times when that does happen, it sends the wrong image, because it's very few people in anything that they become successful quickly and last long.
Mhm.
Because it takes time to build a foundation in whatever you're doing.
Mhm. What are the artists that you look up to now that you think that like kind of shows that quality and that are still like relevant today?
Yeah, I look artists like Nipsey Hussle. I
Mhm.
listen to artists like Russ. I listen to artists like even Rick Ross. Rick Ross has, I think it's the God Forgives I Don't album, but on the book cover on the inside it says, he has a caption that says, it took me 12 years to get into the game and 6 years to take over.
Mhm.
So like, um, I look at those type of artists and I'm like, and if you look at those same three artists, they're all their careers, have grown, immensely since they've started, and they've all had a process and a struggle that you have to go through. But the back end is going to be worth it every time.
Mhm.
And you just got to believe that as an artist. You got to believe that you have something to offer. Like you just got to believe that. That's the number one thing. You got to believe that.
Mhm. And you mentioned like other people a couple of times, like I mean, either giving you feedback or telling you stories. Is it fair to say that all of your songs are your personal experiences, or some of them are just like can you like would you only make a song if you personally relate to the topic, or are there some songs that are just other people's stories?
Yeah. Well, I try to always have some type of relation to it, because it's easier for me to create. Like I gotta have some understanding of the feeling to be able to kind of narrate it and explain it in lyrics. But I would say majority of the time I have some type of connection to the story. But maybe here or there may be pieces of songs. I wouldn't say a whole song, but there might be pieces of songs that are other people's experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But majority of it I have some type of relation to.
All right. And talking about your collaborations, you do have some features on other artists. Some artists have features on you. What are your, I guess, I don't know, aim, or like what do you look for in collaborating with other artists? Or what is your favorite one you've done so far? Or what would be your dream collaboration? Just talking about other art, like making
Oh man, dream collaboration, man. That list is so big. I just love creating good music
someone that's
with
still here.
yeah, 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 yeah. Um, Let me see a dream collaboration. Who? I mean, like, do the obvious ones count? Like, does Jay Z and Beyonce? Do they count, or do I have to not be so generic?
Not every rapper wants to collab with Beyonce, so
Man, you know who I would like? I would like to work with Bruno Mars. That would be cool. He seemed like he's pretty cool. I like Miguel. Um, Let me see. Who else would I just that I just really want to work with? Andre
John.
3000.
Sorry, I was just saying that John mentioned like Bruno Mars is one of his inspirations for like work ethic, and I'm feeling like, do I am I missing something? Like I don't know much about
Yeah,
Bruno
yeah,
Mars,
man.
but apparently he's inspiring people out there.
You know, the cool thing about Bruno Mars is that he just makes it look so damn cool. Like, he just makes it look so cool to be a musician, and or like when I watch it, I'm like, man, I want to be cool as this guy, like, and I rap, I don't even sing, but it's like, man, that this is what I want to look like on stage. This is how I want to make people feel when I'm on stage. I want this type of energy, and I think that's what for aspiring artists and musicians, that's what he gives me. Um, but I would love to work. Oh man, I got so many people I would love to work with. But as far as like who I will work with, anybody that's serious and as long as it makes sense, right? I'm not going to do anything that wouldn't be a good situation for me. But as long as it makes sense, I'm down. Like I'm with it, no matter what genre. Like
Mm.
if it makes sense and it's something that we could create and it can be inspiring to people, then let's do it. Like it's difficult to put into specific names because it's such a wide spectrum of who I would work with and who I would want to. But well, I'm gonna just go with any real musicians who are serious and want to make something inspiring to the world.
Mm. So what is the your favorite so far collaboration you've done?
My favorite collaboration, I got a song with a guy named Scotty ATL out of Atlanta. I like that song a lot. That was pretty cool. I got another song with one of my buddies out in Denver, Dr. Mario. Those are probably my two of my favorites right now that I could think of. Me and Bobby Cool, another artist that I work with, my buddy. We got a ton of material together. I always love working with him. Um, those are probably the top three off the top of my head that I can think of that I've done so far that I just really, was moved by.
Mhm. And do you
Mm.
have your favorite ever song that you made?
That I made my favorite ever. Oh
Mhm.
man, what's my favorite song? That's tough. It's like saying who's your favorite kid, right?
I
You got
oh my John said the same about the music genre. Sorry, I'm comparing you guys, but I'm still overwhelmed with the conversation we just had. Yeah, no,
that's good.
exactly. I
That's
have
good.
my favorite song. It's not out yet.
No. See, but it's easier for you to have a favorite song, right? Because like those aren't your kids, so
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, I like this
I
one
like
better.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think depending on the moment, depending on the moment, I have different. Um, my mom used to always say that she doesn't love any of us more or less. She just loves us differently.
Mhm.
So I think that's how I feel about the songs. Like depending on the moment and the situation, I may have a favorite song, but I don't have one just hands down is my number one all time forever. I can't say that I have that with my own music at least.
Mhm. Do you think you need to like you want to improve in any certain like I mean, whatever the case in your musician career. I mean, not necessarily with your like songs you're making, but in general, what is the thing you're working on, or like what is it you want to improve in your creative process?
You know, um, hmm, that's a good question because I want to say everything, but right, that's like all right, that doesn't help any.
No, that does not.
uh, I would say production wise, I would say production for other artists. I want to say for the other artists, I want to get a little more diverse. I want to get I want to create a different sound for other artists. I think for myself, I've learned, and the artists that I work with closely, I think I've learned how to create, a particular sound that works for them and myself included. But I think that I would love to be able to become better at producing and writing other genres, like maybe country music, maybe pop music, um, even R&B. I would love to be able to become a better writer and a better producer in those genres. That would be pretty cool. I would love to do something. I can improve a lot in those areas.
Mhm. And what would you say is the maybe the biggest obstacle you went through in your career, or like the biggest lesson you've learned? Just going deep here, so take a minute to
Um,
think.
yeah, no, I mean, well, like I don't know what the biggest obstacle because there is like every day you have one, right? And that always seems like it's the biggest one until tomorrow. Then it's like, there's another one. So I don't want to say obstacles because I guess I've accepted that that's part of the process. So
That's why I said lessons.
yeah, that's true. You know what? That's keep working, keep working, keep doing what you're doing. When it gets hard, keep working. When you are become successful, keep working. When you're struggling, keep working. When you know things don't look good, keep working. Like I've one thing about it, I've never gotten worse by working, by practicing and studying, and I've never I've never become a worse musician. I've never become worse of a writer. I've never become worse of a rapper by continuing to grind.
All right, and the opposite. What would you do? You have like a highlight of your career that was like the high point, the best experience that you could think of?
Best experience, best experience. I've had some good moments. One of my first bigger shows. I think it was like over 1,000 people, and I remember being on stage, and I'll never forget. I was like, "Everybody make some noise," and then everyone really screamed, and I was overwhelmed, like, wow, like they really did it, like, and I remember feeling like I want to do this forever, and
Oh.
yeah, like I remember that feeling being on stage, and people ask me all the time, like, "Are you ever get nervous when you're on stage?" And I'm like, "Nah." Ironically, it's like the most comfortable place I can be, and it's weird because like a lot of people would be like, "Man, I would be nervous in front of all those people," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't get. I love it, Like I love being on stage with a microphone in my hand. I love like that part of the game. Like that's like one of my favorite parts of doing music is being able to perform and people and the feedback and the energy you get back. It's insane. It's like a high or an adrenaline rush that just it lasts through the night and it's so memorable. Like you never can forget it. So that part of it is amazing. I would say.
So when was the last time you performed? Like, how did the
Not since
corona affect you?
Yeah, not since COVID. It's been shut down, but hopefully the world opens back up soon. I mean, before COVID, I was doing shows in the city. Um, I was traveling to different cities doing shows, but when COVID hit, it shut everything down. But I'm ready to get back out. I haven't stopped writing. I haven't stopped producing. I haven't stopped creating. I'm ready right now to perform. Like I'm ready. I'm always ready. I always stay ready. Um, and I'm always excited and anxious to perform. So
Hmm.
as long as the situation, like, that's really how I move. I'm pretty free spirited. It just has to make sense. I've learned it still has to make sense. You just can't do anything, but as long as it makes sense and you feel good about it, let's go with it.
Hmm.
We'll take our chances.
Right. So, what did you learn in the last year? Like, what you've been up to? How did you spend your? I don't know if you had guys lockdowns or what did you do by staying at home? Or were you
You
always
know
at
what I
home?
learned? I learned the pandemic taught me that you got to go hard every day because any day it could all be over. And it's like, like a year, a year and a half ago, you couldn't explain to anyone that the world would be shut down and they truly understand how it meant, right? But now I see like if you don't take advantage of every day, you know what I mean? Like it could end one bad virus and all of a sudden it can be over with.
Mhm.
And I learned what can I do in this downtime that when the world opens back up, I can be a better version of myself than I was before the pandemic. And that's what I've been focusing on, just working, becoming better at what I'm doing. And my weaker strengths, making those stronger.
And where do you see yourself next? Like, what's coming? What are you working on right now? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 1 year, 2 years?
5 years, in 5 years, I see myself on a yacht somewhere in the
Where?
middle of the in the middle of the Mediterranean, eating lamb shish
I
kebab.
wouldn't recommend that's the best seat to choose, but
You wouldn't.
you can
That's not
try.
in the middle of the Mediterranean. Well, we'll figure out where I can put my yacht in 5 years. We'll figure it out. But in 5 years, I just hope that the work that I'm putting in, all the seeds I've planted and all the groundwork and the roots I laid, that it just prospers into the things that I've been chasing, I've been grinding and working towards. And I do believe I'm pretty optimistic that in the next 5 years I will have achieved a lot of those goals and created some new ones at the same time.
Hmm. All right, and you mentioned instruments earlier. Tell us, what do you play?
So I can play the guitar and I can play the keys. Um, I learned the piano mostly through producing, right? Using the keyboard a lot, and I just continue to study. And I used to say, well, the more I understand how to play the piano, the better I'll be with making beats, right? Because I'll understand the music a lot better. And then that led to like me wanting to play the guitar because I was like, well, I kind of got the piano part down a little bit. It's not as exciting because I kind of got the basics down, and I was like, well, I'm gonna learn how to play the guitar. And then I just practiced and I just grinded and I just practiced and I practiced and I practiced and I practiced. And to this day, I just practice and practice and practice. And now I could do a little bit more on it, on both instruments.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully those things pay off into other genres. I realized that hip hop sometimes can be a more simple genre of music as far as production and creating. But other genres are still pretty organic in their roots of how those songs come about. So you have to either learn the origins of how those genres are created, or you're going to struggle creating them.
Mm-hmm. All right, and a bit of a, I guess, controversial question is why do you make music?
I make music to inspire people. Um, I had a friend, rest in peace to him too. He passed away, but I was riding. I never forget. Um, we were talking. We were talking. He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Man, I want to rap. I want to be a musician." And I never forget. He was like, that's a pretty like powerful position." And I'm like, "What are you talking about, bro? I'm going to rap. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?" He said, the entire world is going to be able to hear your voice. What are you going to say? And I said,
Mm-hmm.
damn. I said, that's deep. Like I hadn't thought about it. He says, yeah, like he's like, I remember him saying like that's a very powerful position that God put you in. And at the time, I thought he was just like being over spiritual, and I didn't understand, but I get it now, and I think my gifts as a human being and what I love to do, they go together, right? So I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing is inspiring people and through music, and this is what makes me feel the best as living, creating music and inspiring people through the music. So I think that's what makes me want to continue to do it, and that's what originally made me want to do it from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, this hour is coming to an end. That went super quickly. I hope we're gonna
Has
do
it?
like a
That's been an hour? Oh man, that went by so fast. Wow, that went by so fast.
yeah. Any
Has it
last
really been an
words?
hour?
I know. No, I
That
mean we can
flew
do
by.
this again anytime. So it's just
Yeah,
any.
that flew by. That went so fast.
Yeah, just to continue on the. I mean, you did mention. Well, one quick question, which I think I know the answer to, where you mentioned producing instruments, songwriting, rapping, performing. What is your favorite part of that whole process? What do you like doing the most?
Oh, definitely performing. I like performing the most. It gives me the best high. Um, I think I love doing all of it though. Like I love. But if you say, well, what if someone asked me, well, what could you do the rest of your life? You know, I would say performing.
Every day? Every single day?
You know,
I'm trying to
enough. I
talk
don't
you
want to
out
say
of it.
nah, nah, no, yeah, no. Every day, Timmy, we're gonna do it every day.
You said you saw Vichi's documentary, you know?
Yeah,
And that's how it goes.
every day. Yeah.
Alright. And what would be your advice? I mean, you did mention of motivation, not giving up the work ethic. Anything else to that to add up for the young artists, upcoming artists, artists in Atlanta, rappers that are trying to find their sound? Um, yeah. What would you?
Experiment. I would encourage any new rapper, any new artist, experiment.
Mhm.
Try try different things with your voice. Try different beats. Do things that are out of your normal comfort zone. Because like that's where you're gonna find a next layer of yourself. That's where you're gonna find another element that you didn't realize you could do, or you have to try things. You got to experiment. Like you can't be stuck in one box. And a lot of times, a lot of artists they tend to do what's only comfortable to them, and it's like that's going to limit you so much creatively. Try things that are different. Try to come up with something that's never been done before. Try to come up with something that's never been heard before. That's what I strive for every single time I'm creating.
Mhm. So, when is your next release coming up?
We're gonna see.
When I say so.
Yeah, right. When my manager gives the green light, but um, we want to see though. But soon, definitely within the next few months. We've got a lot of material we're working on. We've got a lot of material that's out already, and we don't want to. I know me personally, um, I don't want to overlook that material. I think I've got a good body of material that's already out, and I've got a ton of material that I'm sitting on right now as well. So we're gonna balance it out, and we're gonna do what is best for Pyro to progress, and what's best for the people to get what they need from me.
Mhm. So tell us, where do we listen to you?
You can go listen to me on all streaming platforms. Pyro Malik,
Like. Well, I think the connection is slightly just left us at the end of the session.
Are they kidding?
I think
So,
you're frozen, but I
all
can
right,
still
well,
hear
real
you.
quick,
Mhm.
you can check on platforms. Pyro Malik. You can hear me? Okay. Oh, I don't know. Am I frozen up there? Oh man. But Pyro Malik on everything. That's PYROMELIK. Check me out on YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple, Tidal, Spotify, Google Music. I'm everywhere. Google me, baby.
Exactly. We just spoke to John exactly the same because like he deleted his Instagram, so we're like, he just Google me, you'll find a way to contact me.
Oh
Well,
no, man. I'm
um,
out. I'm active. I got motion going. I got crazy motion, so it's not gonna be hard to find me.
yeah, exactly. Like we exist, guys. Just Google us. Like we're not
Yeah,
pretending. We've been working.
yeah, yeah. For sure, for sure.
But yeah, appreciate you taking the time in the morning to talk to me.
Right.
This was
Thanks for having me.
right. This was Pyromilic, everyone. So yes,
All right.
Pyromilic on everywhere at
Yeah.
PYROMELMELAK. Also, I made a couple of management pages on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So that would be Pyromelic MGMT. Check that
Mhm.
out. I'm shouting myself out right now. So yeah, I mean,
Shout out DJ Timmy. Shout out
yeah,
DJ
shout
Timmy.
out DJ Tammy. And most importantly, I want to thank me. And no.
And thank DJ Timmy.
No, yeah. So I mean, yeah. So previously we heard my best friend, and I mean, I feel like we're gonna work on this with Pyra, and I'll make a second best friend. But basically, if you
Right.
wanna connect either of these guys, my website is www.djtammy.com, and we did cut off the ads, so I'm gonna play a couple of Pyra Malik songs because it's never
Let's
enough.
go. Let's go.
It's
You can
never
never have
enough.
too much Pyro Malik. It's never too much Pyro Malik.
Exactly. You're free to vibe with me, or you can just could disconnect. Up to you. But yeah, guys. Yeah, let's listen to some of this.
Timmy, what you gonna play? Hold on, what you gonna play, Timmy? I wanna know what you gonna play.
How about you introduce each of the songs? Well, my
Okay.
artist that I manage is not very. I'm not gonna bash you right now, but I only have 5 clean songs. There's like 20 out in all the streaming platforms. So I got 5 that I can play.
You only got 5? Okay, all right. We
Yeah.
wanna get your record. I don't know. That's my fault. That's my fault, everybody. Don't worry. I'm gonna get Timmy all 20 clean ones so he can play everything.
Exactly. All right. So the
By the
first
next
one.
interview. By the next interview. Go.
Exactly. Give us a little story of Cherish This Moment. How did it come
Oh,
about?
so Cherish This Moment, that was a pretty organic song. I remember feeling like I remember picturing myself just being caught in a moment, and I was just feeling so grateful that I had kept been through everything I went through to get to the moment where I was at to be able to come up with that. And that's why I named it Cherish This Moment, because I really did do that at that time. So that's where we at. Cherish This Moment, produced by Dope Exchange. These guys based out of Atlanta, great producers. Dope Exchange produced by, written by me, Pyro Malik, played by DJ Timmy. Let's go.
Better roll me a something, better pull me a something. I need to cherish this moment. Don't know how long I'ma own it. They don't know how long we've been on it. This ain't nothing new. I'm so comfortable. Show love whenever I'm coming through. Pull up whenever they want me to. I got love for the ones who got love for me. Little ones up under me. TOT on my little niece when she calling me. What I love to see when she kissing me and she hugging me. I got a bad and they love to me. Luckily I move humbly, cause if I want to it get ugly. I told Shawty call me back, I'm about to count me up some dough. Then she called me back, I told her I'm about to count me up some more. She said whatever that you counting, you must be counting it slow. I told her no, but time is money, every minute it seem to grow. You get crossed a couple times, that'll make your heart cold. You get lost a couple times, then take off your blindfold. They see me flex, nothing but money plays up on my GPS when they see me less. Cause I got no time for these games, so come correct. You gotta roll me or something, better pull me or something. I need to cherish this moment. Don't know how long I'ma own it. They don't know how long we've been on it. This ain't nothing new. I'm so comfortable. Show love whenever I'm coming through. Pull up whenever they want me to. I got love for the ones who got love for me. Little ones up under me. TOT on my little niece when she calling me. What I love to see when she kissing me and she hugging me. I got a bad and they love to me. Luckily I move humbly, cause if I want to it get ugly. Smoking big sticks of exotica. I'd rather get real love over followers. All they do is say, turn the caption off. They trying to catch me slipping like the traction off. Plug say he got some joints killing the street like Jeff Dahmer. I told him give me half and half like an Arnold Palmer. It's no wonder the 7 wonders couldn't hold me until they see how important the 8 is like Kobe. I've been the outcast, that's why I know they mad. Plus I spit like 3 stacks with the shoulder pads. All I need is a Badu to say I do. They think it's the same, but it's really different. Ken and Ryu, yeah. Yeah, I know how I do when I get in my little bag. About to roll me up something, about to pull me up something. I need to cherish this moment. Yeah, about to roll me up something, about to pull me up something. I need to cherish this moment. How long I've been on it? They don't know how long we've been on it.
Oh my god, I actually didn't even plan to play it all, but then I just had to leave it because we knew about the
Yeah.
lyrical part coming up.
Yeah, you can't rob the people of that part. Too. You can't rob the people of that part.
Yeah, when was this released? Was it last year or?
Yeah, no, it was released um towards the second half of 2020. Women 2021, yeah, 2020.
Mhm. I
Hmm.
noticed that like most of your songs just are like sorry, 2 minutes. Like, is that intentional or that like a part of your style that?
Yeah, well, just depending on the type of song. So like I've learned, and the way music is consumed now, playback value is important, right? So you don't
Mhm.
want the song to be so long that people don't want to play it back. So sometimes I intentionally make it a little bit shorter, and it makes you want to listen to it over and over and over again. And then I have other songs, depending on the style, that are 4 minutes, but it may be a different lane that I'm riding in for that particular record.
Mhm. All right. So up next we got a Green Light. We already heard the name
Like,
of Bobby Cool. So tell us more about it. When did you make it? Why? What is it
mhm.
about?
Yeah. So Green Light produced by Jay Castellano. Um, I wrote I wrote Green Light. One night we was having fun in the studio, and this is one of those records where I was like, put a beat on, let's just go. And I remember just rapping, and I remember we was writing it, and I did everything right there in the studio, on the spot when he played the beat. And that this is a record that I just had a little fun on. I just want to rap a little bit, I wanted to bounce, want to have a good time, play it in the club, have some good energy, and that's what we came up with. This is Green Light, produced by Jay Castellano, written by Pyro Malik.
Yeah, yeah. About to wash away my pain with all this bourbon. Sliding up 85, you know I'm swerving. Set up shop up on your block, you know we working. Bust it for the first time, did like a version. I got the pad back to back in the suburban. Soon as they hit the town, you know we serving. It's hard to wrap your head around it like a turban. Going up until the day they close the curtain. I done ran into a plug, I done seen it all before. I done came up out the mud, don't wanna go back there no more. I done turned a Vic into a zip into a whole lot. Couple bags of outside, now I'm thinking of the whole spot. Ooh, look at little shorty, down low, she getting naughty. Rolling by Marley, ooh, she get on top. Ride like Ferrari or a Ducati. What is they stressing me for? I do not with them folks. Boy, you ain't know, I got the balls for the low. Just make sure you catch when I throw. Years ago, just like a green light, no strap on me, don't seem right. All of my go loco, kick bit like a dojo. Still middle finger to the popo. I don't fuck that lamp no more. When it comes to that money, it's never enough. Call that yapping and pass me a cup to wash away my pain with all this bourbon. Sliding up 85, you know I'm swerving. Set up shop up on your block, you know we working. Bust it for the first time, did like a version. I got the pad back to back in the suburban. Soon as they hit the town, you know we serving. It's hard to wrap your head around it like a turban. Going up until the day they close the curtain.
Alright, actually I just thought of another question. Speaking of clean songs, do you usually use profanity? What's about that? Like, is all songs like? Do you have any songs that are like clean, or have you ever thought of it as in like while you're making music? Well,
Yeah. You know what? What song is it? And I remember we were going through making clean. What song is it? I do have one, and it wasn't intentional actually. I was
mhm,
just rapping, and I never just end up saying anything obscene. And
mhm,
dang, what song is that? What song? I do have it, but actually, when I'm writing, I try not to overuse profanity. Like I try
mhm.
to only use it where it makes sense. But I try to always creatively come up with more words than profanity. You know, so sometimes, yeah, sometimes I definitely think of it. It's you know
Mhm.
people like the dirty versions better. I don't know why. It's weird. Human beings are weird, right?
No,
If I
but
if
yeah.
I had if I had all clean versions, they'd be like, turn this garbage off. He doesn't even curse.
No, yeah, that was me when I was like 14 years old or so. Like, I thought that the more the rappers curse, the cooler it is. Like, gangster rap, like NWA, MOP. I was like a fan. I was like,
Yeah.
I need to find where they curse more. But yeah. All right, so up next we got Bodies.
Yeah, this I like. So
You know I
this is
like
one of my
Bodies.
favorite. This is one of my favorite records. This song right here is a lyrical assassination of a
Mhm.
record right here. Straight bars, good vibe, good bounce. Produced by Pyro Malik, yes sir.
Great.
Produced by me, written by me. I had to
True
plug
that.
that in. I had to plug myself real quick. Yeah, written by me. And this is called Bodies. Let's go.
When you get in that zone, it just feel a little bit better. Gotta make sure we get in that zone when we do it.
Check. Not a novice or expert, somewhere intermediate. That's why I break the recipe down to its ingredients. Dissect the digest, reverse it when you feeding it. Everyone's open to catch a blessing, who's receiving it. Let me get when I return to that I write it, and I be reading it. You be shaking my head like I don't even believe that shit. What my mama would say if she knew I was dope as dope as dope. Or took miscellaneous shots to the head like Cobain. Future looking bright even behind the closed curtain. I'm so player I can still Cupid's girl when I'm flirting.
Boy, cut
To
it
tell
out.
the truth, playing with me would be foolish. Plus, it feels smooth as butter whenever I do this. I'm ahead of the curve, about to lap these. Cause most times I'd rather slap these than dap these. And don't ask me to be honest if you don't really want me to. Cause I'm the type that's gonna do what he wanna do right in front of you. Right in front of you. I don't do behind back. Nope, never mind that. Shit that you talking, rewind that. New Pyro Malik, cause it's thumping, bumping like acne. Stay in your place, you can't drive the car from the back seat. Talk to him. I'm the answer to the questions that they ask me. A whole different wave, the closest thing to max be. The older I get, the more that life get crazy. Real. It's gonna take something real special to amaze me. Gotta make my reality coincide with my fantasies. My thoughts to a simple mind might seem like insanity. Never let the falls manage me, I stay peaking. I'm going up a few notches every change of the seasons. We all got our reasons, but excuses are personal. Feelings get felt, and sometimes you gotta hurt a few. What they want me to do, I'm just being Malik. So put up or shut up, you ain't even gotta speak. All we doing is catching bodies from now on. Killing shit. What up, Tan?
All right, I got two questions. What is that
All right.
violin? Is that a violin? What is it?
Yeah, the violin.
You made it. Did someone play
Yeah.
on it? Did you do it on? Well, you say you use Pro Tools, right?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I did it in the production software. Nah, I didn't play that. I wish.
A nice violin.
Yeah, no, that violin is amazing. That's why I used. I said, man, this cuts through so good. But I just manipulated the sound to make it sound as authentic as I could, and then I just do what I do as a producer.
Mhm.
Timmy, I can't give all my secrets away.
Why? Um, Speaking of like I don't know sounds in general, do you use samples?
As samples as far as from like old records, or
Yeah.
samples just as far as
In general, what is your use of samples? Speaking of giving away secrets.
mm, you know, I'm a little hesitant to use the samples because sometimes it could be difficult getting those records cleared, and I always have a fear that I'm going to make an amazing record and everyone loves it, and then
I have
whoever
a
I
fear
sample,
I'm gonna make it.
I'm making an amazing record that has a sample, and the owner is not going to clear the record, and so what I do is I'm not against it at all. I just try to make sure that I'm very mindful of who and what I would sample.
Mhm.
That's the best way I can describe it, I guess, at the moment.
All right.
The
So
sample game is very dangerous. You gotta be careful. The sampling is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
right.
My bad. The sample is very dangerous.
Yes, I guess the general question you don't really use it.
I try not so much. I try not to use it so much, so much. I'm not gonna say ever or that I won't. I just try not to use it so much.
Mhm. All right, and my second question is, who's the girl that says, "Boy, cut it out"?
That's that's somebody that I got here in the States with me who she just has a unique voice, so we try to use her voice. She's not an artist. She's not an artist. She's just somebody that I know that we had in the studio, and I was like, you know what, your voice would sound cool if you said it. So we just talked her into saying it for us.
Can we hear more of her, like on the other tracks, or was that the only appearance?
You know what? She just has an ad lib right there. She's not a musician, honestly. So I don't know. Maybe we can
I'm
talk her
saying,
into doing.
I mean, on your tracks, like, have you used her? Have you used her
Oh
before?
no, no, no. Not any more that I could think of off the top of my head. I know for that one, that part was intentional.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. Maybe we could talk her into doing some more ad libs for me.
All right.
We can talk her into doing some more ad libs.
And second last is No Love.
No Love, produced by Jay Castellano. No Love was just written about me doing everything that I needed to do. And, whoever wasn't part of the process, I respect it, but don't be upset when I move on. Like, so I don't got no love for you. I'm burnt out. And that's, kind of what took me there. And it's produced by Jay Castellano. The music video is out right now on YouTube. Pyro Malik, No Love, produced by Jay Castellano. Music video out right now. Let's do it.
I can't show no love to you, shout it, cause I'm all out. They don't wanna see you win the game until you ball out. Why? They ain't never got no work, it's like they called out. Then they wanna switch the story on you when they fall out. Yeah, I can't show no love to you, cause I'm all out. Yeah, yeah. That's why I can't show no love to you, shout it, cause I'm all out. Yeah. I don't need none of y'all accepting me, cause collectively, none of y'all can step to me. It's incredibly difficult for y'all to measure me. I got telepathy, dog, it's a different pedigree. I got my weight up, now I'm moving heavily. She smelling good, looking heavily. Remember when they didn't want to schedule me, but now I'm booked up. Everybody got a plate, they eating what I cooked up. Now I'm bubbling, it's like a soda when it's shook up. I can't show no love to you, shout it, cause I'm all out. They don't wanna see you win the game until you ball out. Why? They ain't never got no work, it's like they called out. Then they wanna switch the story on you when they fall out. Yeah, I can't show no love to you, cause I'm all out. Yeah, yeah. That's why I can't show no love to you, shout it, cause I'm all out. Yeah, I don't know what they want from me. Now I do the frontin', but before was frontin' me, I used to struggle with the count, but now I do it comfortably. Yeah, I know it's real, I'm laughing whenever they come for me. They wasn't listening before, but now these bumping me. Looking back in hindsight, I had to get my mind right, had to get the time right. Now everything is calculated. Looking at me now, everything I do is captivating. Boy, it's like a graduation. I can't show no love to you, shout it, cause I'm all out. They don't wanna see you win the game until you ball out. Why? They ain't never got no work, it's like they called out. Then they wanna switch the story on you when they fall out. Yeah, I can't show no love to you, cause I'm all out. Yeah, yeah. That's why I can't show no love to you, shout it, cause I'm all out.
Alright, so you mentioned the music video for No Love, Bodies, the one before. We also have a music video for it.
We do have bodies. That's my bad.
Can you tell us a
Bodies.
bit more of like visual creation process? How do you come up with ideas for those videos? Yeah. Is there any particular idea? How long did it take you? Where was it shot? And how was the experience?
The bodies video was shot in Atlanta, and the No Love video was shot in New York. When I'm doing the videos, the visuals, I try to just, it's a collective process. I have a rough idea what I want to do, and then I get with the director and I get with the team of creatives, and we try to put the best. They try to make sure they can come up with what I'm thinking and put it on screen. And I think for those two videos, I think that we're pretty close to achieving. I was very content and I was very happy with those videos, the way they came out. check them out. They're on YouTube. It's me, Pyro, on YouTube. Search Pyro Malik. It's all up there for y'all. Go check me out.
You said you have a like initial idea. Where does your ideas come from? I mean, considering your covers as well, your music
Hmm.
videos, like what where do you get inspiration for that or
Yeah, so I do. So normally when I'm coming up with the visuals and the ideas for the visuals, um, I listen to the song and I try to imagine that the song was a soundtrack for a visual, and what would I want to see that song playing if I was watching it? What would I want to be looking at while that song was playing? And that's how I come up with the original idea. And then I sit down with with my team or whoever I'm working with on that project, and we try to display that the best way we can.
nice one. So you just like the ideas just come to your head, like you don't need any
Yeah, yeah,
external.
no, yeah, no, no, no. Literally, like I'll play the record. I'll sit there and I'll think of like if this was a movie, like where would I play? Like what scene would I want to hear this song on? So almost like if I work, it's almost like I work backwards. When I'm doing the video, I think of the song as being uh, a segment in the movie, and I just try to, and I really try, or a video, and I really try to picture like what would I want to be looking at right now if I was hearing this song. Like, what would make this, you know, like what would this song be perfect for? And then I try to create that, whatever I'm thinking.
What movies do you like?
What movies are? I like comedies actually. Ironically, I like comedies. I like comedies a lot. That's mostly what I like. I like to laugh and smile, so I'm gonna go with comedies. Anything funny, I like.
All right. Speaking of comedy, I think one of your most depressing songs, Firstborn. Let us
Well,
know about it. How did you make it? What?
oh, so I did Firstborn. Firstborn. Oh, so Firstborn is just it's an intimate song, and I am the firstborn out of my siblings, and I just wanted to um kind of express like the pressures of coming with being that oldest and that firstborn in your family, and the different struggles and the different mentality that it takes from all your other siblings, and I try to just touch on that as much as I could, and that's how I came up with Firstborn.
All right. Let's hear it.
I wonder is my mama really proud of me? Or do she just say that she is cause she love me? You the firstborn, you the first scorn, family glue but the most torn. I wonder if my mama really proud of me? Or do she just say that she is cause she love me? You the firstborn, you the first scorn, family glue but the most torn. My mama said she love her new outfits. She don't know that money came from ounces. Yeah. And I'm moving to the best of my abilities. Lord knows I got responsibilities, but I say my prayers every night, mama. Yeah. I'm just begging for forgiveness, and I'm living in my fears every night, mama. A murder without a witness. Oh no, please don't bury me alive. It's cold underneath the sheets. The lies are told. Best indica sativa got me blowed. I so low, but my faith so high. Time moving fast, watch the days go by. They love how I'm grounded, but I stay so fly. Me playing games I don't, so don't try. I don't have time to waste. I wonder if my mama really proud of me, or do she just say that she is cause she love me? You the firstborn, you the first scorn, family glue but the most torn. I wonder if my mama really proud of me, or do she just say that she is cause she love me? You the firstborn, you the first scorn, family glue but the most torn. My granny was a hustler, and T-Pop done did biz bad, he made her home safe. They deported my uncle after he did a whole dime. It's been years since I seen his face. Remember, you're never too special to be replaced. And regardless of what you did, if you snitch, it gets erased. Let's ante up the stakes. Eating lobster and steak with the ones I was eating crumbs with off of the plate. I learned from my mistakes. Played the cards I was dealt. Always acted how I felt. I got a few sins under my belt, honestly, and I'm ashamed. I'm hoping they get washed and forgiven with the rain. I wonder, is my mama really proud of me? Or do she just say that she is cause she loves me? You the firstborn, you the first scorn, family glue but the most torn. I wonder, is my mama really proud of me? Or do she just say that she is cause she loves me? You the firstborn, you the first scorn, family glue but the most torn.
All right. One question.
What's up? And that, hold on, to my bad. And Firstborn music video out now too. Firstborn music video out now too.
Out
But
now?
go ahead.
When was
Yeah.
it released?
Yeah, it's already out. It's out too. I've been working. I've been working.
All right. So, is your mom proud of you? That's what I
Yeah,
want.
she said. Yeah, she said she is.
How did she react to the song?
You know what? I sent it to her, so I wasn't with her when, but she said she liked it. Like she said she liked it. I mean, she's pretty supportive, so I don't know if she said it or she just said that because she loves me. That's the whole
Exactly. I
Nah,
love you. I wish you were a doctor.
I love you. Good job. I wish you were a doctor. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. Well, this was a lovely hour and a half.
Yes.
I wish you have an amazing day.
Yes, will do. Thank you for having me. Everybody check me out. Tap in with me. Pyro Malik. I'm out. Timmy, thank you. You're the best.
DJ Khaled. Who's the best? Is that Khaled who's the best?
Yeah. That's right.
All
That's
right.
DJ.
Well, DJ Timmy, yeah. Another one. All
All
right.
right.
Yeah, guys. Pyro Malik on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Pyro Malik MGMT, though, on TikTok and on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
So, yeah, follow us there.
Yeah, everybody. Follow all of that.
And, yeah, I'll catch you later. Have a lovely day. And
All right.
peace.
See you guys later. Peace.